You're an astronaut. I'm a lady with a rocket. Will you go to space with me? Or fall for the galaxy while we run away to the Middle East? You drop me off with strawberries on a bus to Tel Aviv. Never thought I'd fit right in a world I've never been. I wanna fly, forget the wind that's swaying me away from you. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend my life chasing the place that makes me happy. Will you join me for a bike ride through the English gardens? Absorb the history. This foreign place should be our fairy tale, right out of nowhere. We swirl around the castle where we claim the king and queen, and fly above the trees, up away. I wanna fly, forget the wind that's swaying me away from you. 'Cause all I wanna do is spend my life chasing the place that makes me happy. When you need time, or a little bit of air, you feel the planet spinning underneath your feet. Welcome to the Morning Song Show. I'm your host, singer-songwriter Haley Drace, and this is the show that I play a song for you live during at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Happy Friday. Happy Feature Friday. This is going to be a great episode. So I'm so glad you're tuned in. You won't want to miss it. So yeah, you tuned into a great day, and it's the end of your week. Hopefully you guys are feeling good. Let's see here. If this is your first time, I am live on social media everywhere that you are viewing this right now. So Periscope, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And you can find me here every weekday at 8 a.m. playing the song live. And also, if you're on my Instagram, in my stories section, I have a voting for what you want to hear on the show every day. So it's really fun. We have a great time. And today is a special episode because I have a very special guest. His name is Lennon Leppert. And you guys, if you've been tuning in, you may have seen him in a week ago in the last episode. If you didn't get a chance to see our first episode, I just reckoned I fought with the IGTV stories and finally it posted. It took several attempts, but I got his interview up on my Instagram page. So if you want to check out that interview, it was really fun. But I am just excited to have him back because we're talking about the music industry all week. This is our final episode of the Music Industry Week, and I couldn't think of someone better than my partner in crime and my music producer that I work with so closely, Lennon Leppert. So I hope you guys have fun. I am actually not going to cheers you into the morning because he is. He actually wanted to cheers you into the morning, so I'm going to let him do that. And I'm going to say hello to my friends. So as you guys are tuning in, I'm going to say hello. All right. So Allison, hey Allison, great to see you as always, as well as Edgar. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You're awesome. Love Bug, Chelsea. Hello, Chelsea. You said you were going to be joining, and I'm so glad you're here because you know us very well. So I think you'll appreciate this morning. Bella Zen, hey, Lisa. She says, good morning. Thank you for another awesome week. Thank you for being here and tuning in. You have also made this week very awesome for being here. So thank you. And Sassafrastiness, hey, Kim. Hey, good to see you. All right. Edgar says, ready for the HD morning song show. Coffee not ready yet? Got to do first things first. Once again, I feel you, and Lennon's going to take care of the coffee part, but I'm probably going to sip on some coffee while he's talking. I sat down with him last night, so this will be very good. It'll be fun. We had a good talk. So thanks to everyone on Instagram. If I missed you, just give me a shout out, some emojis. And then also, we've got some amazing people on Periscope. I feel like I've connected with you guys so wonderfully recently because sometimes I'll hop on at night and play some songs. So it's been great having you guys tune in the morning. Lee says, hi, Haley. Hello, Lee. Nice to see you on here. And I believe you're on Instagram as well. Paul, hello. Aw, thanks so much. Says beautiful. David says, I made it past the coffee. There are 2 people for coffee. Any other takers? Any other people needing some coffee? Mayor Berkshire says, good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm so glad you're here because Lennon Leppert is about to speak his mind about his perspective in the music industry. It's going to be so great. I know that we will both enjoy that, Mayor Berkshire. Mike says, good morning, Haley and Lennon. Happy Friday. Hello. Happy Friday. And let's see. Oh, I got another happy Friday from Mayor Berkshire. This is great. Paul says he's from Istanbul, and he says, great song, listening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in from so far away. I am in Los Angeles, and it means so much to me that you are tuning in all the way from Istanbul. So thank you so much for being here. Wow, that is so cool. And Dirk, hey Dirk, as always, thank you so much for tuning in Germany. Amazing. So we're going to get started here. Great news though, before we get started, I found my glasses so I can read. Listen, I lose my glasses quite frequently as well as my keys. If you feel me, yeah. You probably understand this. I had to get one of those tile things for my keys, and it's semi-helpful. If my phone is on, I can just beep it or whatever, and it'll help me find it. But yeah, the tile thing is really crucial for me. So if you want me to, I would not trust me with my keys, nor would I trust me with your keys. So don't ever do that. I don't want to lose them. I can clean out your refrigerator really well. That's a bonus. I can write a song for you. That's a bonus. But yeah, don't let me try to find your keys. It's just not going to happen. But I have my glasses, so that's the whole point here. Okay, so hey Lewis. I have a little bio about Lennon Leppert that I want to share with you, and it's just going to be the highlights because I know some of you guys already know him, but there are a lot of amazing highlights that I want to share. So I'm going to at least give you the important bullet points here. We sat down last night and talked about the music industry, and he comes from the perspective of being a music producer. So he's more behind the scenes doing a lot of the music making, but he's also multifaceted. He's been not only doing pop music, he's been doing cues for TV and film. He has some credits in film scoring, as well as studying classical music, and that's how we connected. And it's going to be the song that I play at the end. Lennon Leppert is a producer and a songwriter, obviously, from Los Angeles, because, hey, we are here together in Los Angeles. Clients from Disney, Discovery, Learning Channel, Natasha Bedingfield, The Rex, Tiesto, KRS-One, and he has a classically trained background. He's a multi-instrumentalist. His primary instrument is piano, but I don't even know if I'd say primary because he's really good at playing trumpet. drum set, cello, and voice. He programmed a lot of the drums as well on my album. And let's see, then he wrote music commercially as a music editor, copyist, composer, and now he works with artists of all styles. So, and he's traveled the world doing this. He is such a wonderful person, and I couldn't not share that with you because aside from being one of the most important people in my life, he does have an incredible background in music. And I'm excited for him to share his thoughts on and his perspective on living in LA, growing up in LA, being in the music industry. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I am going to hang out with you guys in the chat as we're going. And if you have any questions for me about like the music industry or just like what you're hearing or any questions for Lennon, feel free to leave them in the chat. I'll make sure I can answer them. And if I can't answer them, I will make sure to get them answered. So, yeah. And so we're going to talk for about 15 minutes just so you can get a heads up. And then at the end, I'll play my song for you live called Dancing to a Symphony. I can't wait to play that for you. But without further ado, here is the wonderful, the fabulous Lennon Leppert to cheers you in. Well, look who I have here.
It's me.
It's you, Lennon Leppert, producer, astronaut extraordinaire. How are you feeling behind the mic instead of the board? How are you feeling still?
I'm good. I'm very good.
Is that it? You're good. Well, hey, that's all I could ever ask for.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here. Good
morning.
Good morning in the evening. What? What did you think of?
Can I have your cup?
Can you have my cup? Okay. He wants my morning song show cup. I don't know why.
I'd like to cheer. Oh my God.
He's cheersing for me. It's the mug of the day,
This is
Lennon.
my least favorite part of the show.
It's the mug of the day.
It's the mug of the day.
He gives me such grief
I
for
designed
doing
this mug.
a cheers in the morning.
Please go to the website and buy them right now.
Oh, man. We'll make sure that they're up on the website.
But yeah, you're right. I just created more work for myself. Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. What are we cheersing to?
A wonderful 2020.
Okay. And the music industry.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
But a wonderful 2020 in the music industry.
Maybe if we have some tequila.
I feel like I need it.
Can cheer the. We can. Okay, yeah. Can cheer the music
Tequila.
industry with some alcohol.
I listened to a John Mayer song, by the way, where he talked about tequila in his coffee.
What song was that?
It was on the Paradise Valley album. Was it Dear Marie?
I don't remember.
No, wait. Okay, I have them mixed up, but I heard that line and I was like, man, it's a very memorable one. Maybe it wasn't Dear Marie. Anyway, let's talk about you in the music industry, because if you guys don't know Lennon, I'm hoping that by the end of this episode, you'll know a little bit more about him as a music producer, his perspective on the music industry, because it's very different as an artist. And so let's start at your roots. Lennon is from LA. He grew up in LA, surrounded by the entertainment and music industry. So what was that like for you?
Imagine how jaded I am.
I mean, I wouldn't blame you, but you've got your even keel, and you're also jaded. So you grew up surrounded by the entertainment world. What was that like for you? Making music, finding yourself as an artist at the time, and then becoming a producer. What was that? What did that journey look like for you, and that switch, being surrounded by the music industry?
Well, I started out singing in a choir and group piano lessons at 6. Started playing piano like unofficially by ear at 2, because I was surrounded by music and it just like happened.
There are
I guess.
videos of
I don't know. I wasn't impressive. It was like I was playing a Bonnie Raitt song, and it wasn't that impressive. But
it's freaking
whatever.
Adorable.
So it was adorable. But yeah, I mean, I remember being in choir with Jamie Lee Curtis's kid, and so she would show up to pick her kid up. I don't remember who her kid was. I didn't even know who Jamie Lee Curtis was when I was 6.
So that was like a mom.
Yeah, she was just a mom. And my mom obviously was like, oh, that's Jamie Lee Curtis. And then I was in...
You did like film scoring, right?
I did film scoring because that's like I got obsessed when I was like 8 or 9 with John Williams. And so the next 4 or 5 years led up to me like working for a film composer. When I was 13, I wrote for a bunch of stuff like Discovery and Learning Channel, Disney, and realized I didn't really want to do what he did. So I went more the pop route when I was 15. And during that time, I was studying at Colburn before it was like a conservatory. It was just like a normal, like you'd go there like as a day, like day classes and stuff.
Like classical music.
And jazz.
Which is what we relate on.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in a jazz band with like this actor who was on Malcolm in the Middle and like all these Nickelodeon shows. And so you kind of get used to in LA, like there's a lot of professional kids and they're all doing all this other stuff, whether it's to have a skill added to their like resume for acting or if it's something that they're interested in.
So how is that different? And how, like for you as a musician trying to create something, like is there any, like how did you feel? Like is there pressure?
I think there's a lot of comparing yourself to other people when you're in LA because the way it is in LA is, and it's the same like in any big city where people are coming to do big things, New York, Nashville, whatever. But I think it's really bad in LA like this because we're like the mecca for all entertainment. So it's people are coming from all around the world to do everything, whether it's like art or dance or music or film or TV or whatever. And I think you're used to people brew, and stew in their own towns and cities. And then they come here, like as their career is about to really blow up because most people like, because they're flown out here by labels or whatever. And obviously there's a lot of people that move out here with like no one helping them. And that's like the majority of people. But when you're growing up here, you see the kids and adults that have been working really hard in their town and they finally get an opportunity to come to LA and really make it big. And seeing that as like the norm for what you're doing and comparing yourself to that is kind of really messes you up. Like one example of this was I was playing with my band. I had hired musicians for my solo career once I was pop. I was like 20.
You were an
21.
artist.
Yeah, as
before
an artist.
A music producer.
Yeah. And
it was a beautiful time.
I'm so glad it's over. But yeah, I was an artist for like probably, I guess, 10 or 11 years. And my band, basically I got the opportunity to just play a show at this like really low key place that actually was a guitar shop. It was like a music rental guitar shop. And they had like a lot of like rehearsal rooms. And then in the back they had this stage. And it was really kind of one of those places that would be like a stage for like, hey, we finished our semester of guitar classes and now we're going to perform for parents and stuff. But this place was like one of the places you could actually like play a gig that wasn't crazy expensive. The tickets were like $5 and the guy just did it because he was a cool guy. He just wanted to like help musicians that were trying to start out.
Okay.
But we ended up opening for a bunch of kids that were like way younger and they were all related and like cousins and brothers and sisters and stuff. And we were like, oh, okay. They're pretty young and like they were pretty good. And it like 6 months later, they were like, I was seeing them everywhere on the Disney Channel and like on billboards and it ended up being a band called R5, which was signed to like Hollywood Records. And Ross Lynch was like on, I forget what show.
Gotcha. So your example of this case was how that evolves. I was wondering if you were going to turn it into a story of like, this is how it turned out badly for me. But you're just saying like,
it's just real. I mean, it's really tough though, because you see a lot of people that don't seem like they would be like really big. You're not like blown away with their talent. They're like fine, but they're not standing out on talent. But because of the business that runs behind the music industry here and the film industry, agents and things, there's social media followings that are taken into account. You end up with all this. You're surrounded by people that are like, they go from this to that in like 6 months. And it's kind of, before you see behind the curtain, which I hadn't at that point, I was like, how did that happen? Like, and it makes you think I'm not as talented and I don't measure up as well, because my song has under 1,000 streams on Spotify and theirs has like 700,000 in like 6 months. And they went from like nobodies to like that. But
it's helpful to hear how the comparison starts, because I think anyone from anywhere in the world sees what's happening like on Instagram and how we compare ourselves to others.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting how you talk about the comparison just from your perspective, being here, and how much more intense that is, not only having Instagram, but really having like a real life Instagram where everyone is, a lot of people are in the entertainment industry. But last question for you is...
Well, actually, really quick before I won't go too long. But an example of
about this.
No, one more example that never happened for me, but it was close. Like I missed it by like a few years. Well, quite a few years. But I'm still kind of connected with a lot of the people I knew back then. And I still run into them. I was in the Los Angeles Children's Chorus, and because like R5 never like blew up that big. They were like big on Disney, but they weren't like massive.
But there are people in your children's chorus who you see now.
Well, I missed her by a few years, her and Phineas, but Billie Eilish was in the same choir I was in. So to think about, I was years before her, but like to think about,
and she was homeschooled.
But like to think about that, like there were kids that were in the choir I was in with her, and it was just, oh yeah, it's that, whatever. And then, she won 5 Grammys. That's just the girl you're in choir with and her brother. She's not a superstar to you. You're just like, oh yeah, I used to sit on the same brick wall waiting for my parents to pick me up as she did. And it's weird like that.
Maybe it's like weird because it's good and bad, because on one hand it normalizes the entertainment industry, but on the other hand it also can make you jaded because you see all the behind the scenes.
It's impossible not to judge yourself off of that, because like, there are probably 5 or 6 people in that choir that are trying to be artists, and there were when I was in it, and to see one win 5 Grammys and become a superstar, and the other 4 aren't doing anything, it's impossible not to judge yourself off of that.
It's pretty crazy
to
hear that. And I'm coming to LA as a transplant. I moved here 3 years ago. I was in Nashville before, which is a totally different world, way more collaborative, but at the same time there is that element still there. It doesn't go away from anywhere where people are creating things, where there is that comparison. There is, especially, the country music scene is there. So you have all these people comparing each other in that world, and who has the best song, who's the best artist. It's like, it doesn't end. So yeah, that can spiral for sure. As we close out the segment, because I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to hear this part of it. You became a music producer, and I want to know, obviously you moved from the artist world and found your music producer world. For those of you who don't know necessarily what a music producer does or is, what is your day-to-day, and like, who are you in the music industry?
I ask myself that question every day.
Who are you?
Who am I in this industry?
Gosh.
Where do I even fit in?
Are you a lady with a rocket?
Definitely not. Not on most days. No, we
talked about the meaning of that song in the last episode, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
Yeah. So anyway, music producer, day in the life. Tell us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really fun time. Genre bending is happening constantly. There's like no like 2 days are ever the same. Sometimes I do 2 or 3 sessions in a day, and I cover the widest gamut of genres ever. You would never think that would happen. And what's really cool is that there's, it's all about what young people are into right now, because young people drive everything. And I'm working with a lot of young artists, and every young artist I'm working with has a different set of influences. And there are some crossovers, but overall it's pretty cool that like young people right now, without knowing it, are like really hip. They're really in, like Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is like putting jazz chords in her songs. I mean, Phineas is. And a lot of the artists come in and they're like, oh, I love that chord. And like, I'll play something that I think is too dated. And they have no idea what I'm even talking about. Because to me, I'm like, that's a Frank Sinatra chord. Or like, that has the 20s to 50s written all over it. And they're like, that's so fresh. And you're like,
I was just thinking that. It must be fun, like, knowing that, working with, like, obviously you're working with, like, all kinds of artists, but, like, the younger artists, I feel like it's not that they're not jaded. It's just that, like, they haven't had all of these things bombarding them and these, like, this is what a hit song is and blah, blah, blah. And this melody, it's like, they're just like, this is what sounds great.
Well, they have their hand on the pulse of the real industry, which is youth. Like, youth is what the industry is driven by, because
do we sound really old right now?
I don't care. I mean, it's true. And like, I was talking to someone the other day about Max Martin, who's like my idol.
It's fun.
And he always has younger writers in the sessions writing a lot of the lyrics, and he's more of like a melody tracks guy from what I understand, and like definitely a melody master. And I think that's a really interesting thing, that he keeps young people around to make sure the lyrics are fresh and they feel relatable. And that really is important, because if it doesn't feel relatable to someone that's, between 14 and 23 or 24, it's probably not going to work very well, because it needs to sound fresh. And that age range really knows what fresh is.
It's interesting that those are the thoughts that go on your mind too. Like, obviously you're thinking about the audience. People are listening, and a lot of them are.
Yeah, how it's going to be received.
Max Martin knows what's up too, but so does Lennon Leppert.
Oh my God, please do not do that.
So does Lennon Leppert. Okay, so
hail Max Martin. Let's just say that. I'll end on that note.
Producer Max Martin and all of his hits. So thank you so much for being here, Lennon. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
I'm amazing.
Sitting closer to you this time just feels so lovely. You're amazing. But so am I. Don't forget about me, Lennon.
You're amazing, Haley Dries. You're amazing.
Okay, we're going to sign off now. Get some sleep, but it'll
have a wonderful day.
The morning when we air this. Have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful Friday.
Don't leave you hanging. We
Bye.
won't leave you hanging. Bye-bye. Hello. I hope you loved that interview with Lennon Leppert. If you're just tuning in or just catching the fun right now, we had an amazingly fun and interesting discussion about Lennon's perspective in the music industry as a music producer and living in LA. He may or may not be jaded. It was I really loved that he could join me for that. So thanks so much, Lennon. When you tune in later, when you're not resting in peace, sleeping, let me clarify, then hopefully you can catch this. Oh my gosh, Paul. I'm just going to give some shout outs real quick. I'm going to play a song, guys. So if you stick around, I'm going to play my song Dancing to a Symphony, which you won't want to miss because it's how Lennon and I first connected. Duh. No, but seriously, he heard the song and he said he loved it. And I knew that we were, on the same page. So I'm just going to say hey really fast to some friends who tuned in during the interview. So Lanira, thanks so much for tuning in. Elisa, thanks so much. I'm glad you loved the mug of the day. Chelsea, I love your comments. You know us so well and it makes me so happy. Juan, you rock. Have a wonderful Friday, which is AKA your weekend. So enjoy your weekend. I'm going to have to tell Lennon that you saw the JLC. Is that the children's choir? Wait, JLC at the AMAs. Remind me what you're talking about. Sassafrossiness requested a photo of Lennon Leppert playing on the piano as a child. Yes, there is footage of this. I've seen home videos. going to his parents' house, and I have seen photos that are incredible. Donal, thank you so much. Christine, Ikram, Christine, you are awesome. Yes, Paul Edelman. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have Paul on the show very soon. He's an incredible session guitar player. If you are looking for some guitar on your album, he's the dude. He records and plays with me a lot. So then, and with Lennon, records with Lennon. And I hope you enjoyed this segment. Incredibly interesting to remember. Oh my gosh, I was feeling old as Lennon was talking about all of these fresh influences that actually, I think in general, it's just like, I think whenever you're not around like when you don't know the game, if you want to call it that, if you don't know like all of the things that could disrupt your creativity, I think that is a good place to be in no matter what age you are. Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, Chelsea, I understand what you're talking about. LACC is the Los Angeles Children's Choir. Okay, I was kind of confused because I was like, oh, I didn't know that the Los Angeles Children's Choir was a thing. Yes, okay, there we go. I understand. And then lastly, we have Dan Silverman and Dirk. Thanks so much for inviting people to tune in, Dirk. That really means a lot. And if you're on Periscope, Mobutu has an incredible, it sounds like, clothing brand. So you should totally check out Mobutu. I love people who are artists. Feel free to share with me anytime what you do. And Mayor Berkshire loves the coffee. And Kukarik, I just joined Twitch recently, and I see that you're on. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. New adventures, live streaming and being on Twitch. So thank you. And Mike loves my RIP, my RIP. Rest in peace, Lennon Leppert. Okay, so I'm going to play Dancing to a Symphony, and then we're going to close out the show. Oh. It's so weird. This was 100% in tune like 2 seconds ago. And it's not like we have like changing weather in Los Angeles or anything. This shouldn't go out of tune at all. Okay. Kaja Tops says, hello, stranger. How's it going, mate? Hey, it's going well. Hope you were doing great today. Hope you don't mind. I'm going to play my song now. This is called Dancing to a Symphony. Dancing to a Symphony. Sorry, guys. Not going to let you down. The culprit. Okay, we're good now. Hand to hand, spinning a web of triplets and melodies. Waltzing in circles, going nowhere to find peace. Bring me back to the days of Mozart. Simplicity still reigned. Now we fall in a million pieces, fulfillment unattained. Counting desperately, waiting for the cue, and we're dancing searching for our part, and we're dancing to a symphony, cadence in my heart. Debussy, tell me a story and coax me with your song. We're the baton and you are the music, and I will play along. Beethoven breathes his anger and sadness, frustration in our hands, crescendoing to the final moment, pounding at the stand, counting desperately, waiting for the cue, and we're dancing to a symphony, searching for our part, and we're dancing to a symphony, cadence in my heart. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, and we're dancing to a symphony, searching for our part, and we're dancing to a symphony, cadence in my heart, in my heart. Thank you so much for listening to my song Dancing to a Symphony. That was all about my involvement getting into songwriting after being in the classical music world and playing violin, and how that relates to life and love. This is on my first album, one of the first songs I ever wrote, called Beautiful to Me. So if you enjoyed what you heard, you can check out all the music on HaleyDraceMusic.com. This physical CD is still available at cdbaby.com in limited quantity, so if you want it, I recommend grabbing it because I don't have any more physical copies in my possession. So yeah, CD Baby's where you'll get that, but you can get all of the albums, all of the other albums on my website, HaleyDraceMusic.com. I play a different song every day. So that one today was called Dancing to a Symphony. Mugs coming to my online store very soon. Wait for the announcement where I will let you know when they go in stock on my store. So I am excited for you to get those. Handwritten lyrics, t-shirts, sweatshirts, great way to support this show and take something home with you. So I hope you'll consider going to check that out at HaleyDraceMusic.com. I've also got lots of free content, like all of my music available online for free. Spotify, Apple Music. I've got what do you call it? I have a way that you can sign up for my free updates with exciting announcements, as well as you'll be the first to hear my new music coming out. I'm working on album number 5. And if you already have all the music, you just want to support the show, I do have PayPal and Venmo. You're more than welcome to support the show that way as well. No pressure, but your support means the world. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to thank everyone for tuning tuning in. These emojis are amazing. Edgar, I'm so glad you could join on Instagram. And thank you so much, Mayor Berkshire. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you, Obi, for your kind words. And Mayor saying that my voice gave you and Michael goosebumps. That's freaking awesome. I am honored. Thank you so much for letting me part of your Friday morning. I know that these episodes are a little bit longer. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, you can check out Lennon Leppert at Highway 1 Records, HWY #1 Records. .com, and you can find all my music at HaleyJoyceMusic.com. You guys are the best. Have an amazing weekend. I will see you on Monday for another theme, another day, another dollar, another song. See you later.
Triplets and melodies, waltzing in circles, going nowhere to find peace. Bring me back to the days of Mozart, simplicity still reigned. Now we fall in a million pieces, fulfillment unattained. Counting desperately, waiting for the cue, and we're dancing to a symphony, searching for our part, and we're dancing to a symphony, cadence in my heart. Debussy, tell me a story and coax me with your song. We're the baton, and you are the music, and I will play along. Beethoven breathes his anger and sadness, frustration in our hands, crescendoing to the final moment, pounding at the stand. Counting desperately, waiting for the cue, and we're dancing to a symphony, searching for our part, and we're dancing to a symphony, cadence in my heart. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, dance with me, and we're dancing to a symphony, searching